Hey everybody, welcome to my next episode of my YouTube channel. For this episode, we're just going to have an interview, and our first interviewed guest will be Aiden Lane, who played Austin in the trailer that you should have watched the other day. Alright, so come on with us.
Hey.
Hey, what's happening?
How you been?
Getting good, how you been?
Good. So where are we doing this?
Straight up there. You've been doing this for 100 years.
It makes sense to me. Everything, I mean, ever since I was a kid, I've been looking at stuff that's been kind of my...
So for this episode today, we're going to interview people, and my first guest that I'm ever going to interview is Aiden Lane, who, if you remember, if you watched the first video, he played my son in the trailer. In that episode, we actually had an interview portion, but for time reasons and quality reasons, we just had to cut it. So we're going to do it today. We're going to talk about acting a little bit. We're both actors, different generations, so maybe just kind of learn from each other's perspective and all that. So we'll start out with, I guess the first question would be, how long have you been in town?
I have been in town for 2 years, coming up on 2.5 years. I moved here from Texas. I'm originally from Oklahoma, but I've moved around from all over. Oklahoma to Iceland when I was 2 months old. I moved back when I was 2 years old. Then Virginia, Oklahoma, Alaska, Texas here. So quite a bit of traveling.
So all over the place.
Yeah.
So tell me now, and this is a really interesting question when I talk to people that are kind of new to LA, what was like the weirdest thing about LA when you got here?
Weirdest thing, probably the people. I mean, just people are weird out here, dude. I mean, they're just like, they're all over the place. And typically when you go to different places, you have different, I guess, cultures every little pocket. But here it's like one big pocket, and it's just a bunch of different cultures mixed in. So there's not really like one, I guess, code for everyone. You just kind of make it up as you go. And then you just have like crazy people walking around the streets. And it's like, I didn't even know anyone did that in real life, like running around naked in an alley. Like,
and there's like 4 of them have passed by since we've started doing this.
Yeah.
And that's probably another thing too, is when you say like crazy, like people don't have manners out here. There's not a kind of a common sense of decency.
I would agree with that. Yeah. Handshakes was something that I still struggle with that. Shaking someone's hand as like a greeting and kind of a sign of respect has been a huge thing that I was used to doing. And then you move out to LA and people will see it as a sign of disrespect. And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like why would you find that disrespectful? And like calling people sir and ma'am was also something, I mean, that's ever since I was growing up, that was a thing that I did, that my parents taught me to do as a sign of respect. And then people out here, you get out here and they're like, why'd you call me sir? Why'd you call me ma'am? Like,
they start looking behind themselves, like, who are you talking to?
Right, yeah, because they see it as something that you would say to someone old, and then they don't register that it's not that.
It's a sign of respect.
It's a sign of respect. I mean, I call my best friend ma'am. She's like 6 months younger than me. Like, it's just something I do.
Funny though, you've never called me sir. That's interesting. So 2.5 years. So you're kind of beginning. Mm-hmm. This is kind of a new thing. What's been like the weirdest acting thing you've done so far? And do not say my video.
Oh man, that video that we shot, Larry. No, I think I can laugh about it now. I won't go into full detail. It was a dating app commercial.
Really?
Yeah. So I get there. Turns out it's less of a dating app, more of a hookup app / like stripping or online sex app that girls can make money on. So that was great. Yeah.
Wow, your mom set you up on that one,
Oh yeah,
huh?
yeah, she did actually. She got me the job. It was great. She didn't know either. Yeah, but for some of those lines that I had to say, I told her she just had
Very
to go
inappropriate.
out of the room. Oh yeah, definitely.
So you did the job.
I did the job, yep.
Okay.
And I got to meet a dude who doubled for Jason Momoa, so that was cool.
So then what's been the best job then so far?
A period piece.
Okay.
It was set in the 50s. It was
wow,
location
okay.
shoot in Oklahoma. It was a great experience. I got to drive a classic car.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be stick shift, but it ended up being automatic. It had some upgrades to it. But I mean, it was a classic car. It had the classic steering wheel, and
Yeah.
like the windshield wasn't curved like
Wow.
the regular ones. It was like the flat. It was
Yeah.
crazy, and like a crank. That was the first time I'd
Such torture. You had to
I
crank
know,
the
no, it was
window.
great. I loved it
Yeah.
because I mean, even people my age, they don't even know what it is. Because I know the classic, like when you want someone to roll your window down, you go like
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
But other people don't know that. But like that was the first time I'd actually seen one in real life, and I got to like crank the window down and back up to talk to the director, and
Okay.
that was cool. But I got my 50s hair going. I was playing a piano player.
No kidding. Do you play piano? I know you play guitar.
Yeah, I don't play piano. It was like the one instrument, like the one mainstream instrument that I don't play in real life.
Okay. Do you want to learn at some point, or?
At one point, I would love to learn it. It is just so complicated. All those keys, I'm just like, it's daunting. It will happen one day.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
What's the hardest thing about acting that you've found so far? LA acting, like Hollywood, here we are. Because this is a whole, people that don't live here don't know. This is a whole different animal completely.
Focusing.
Interesting.
Keeping focus to actually put in the work to learn your acting skills and keep up your acting skills, I think is the hardest part for me.
Well, and just, because we've both shot things now on film, it's much different than theater where you say the line and it's over and you go on to whatever.
Yeah.
As you know, as both of us know, that you have to say the same line usually 10 times at least over and over.
Yeah.
And that's where focus is huge.
So just putting in the work. I didn't understand. I thought acting was easy until I tried it. Like, people just don't understand how difficult
it is a craft.
Yeah. It's intense. And I mean, obviously technique. Some people will be like, okay, you just got to pick up a script and then learn it on the fly. Other people will say you got to study a script for 2 months before you shoot it.
It is, and acting is every bit an individual approach.
Yeah.
I can tell you what I do, but that may not work for you.
Exactly.
And the last thing you want to do is try to emulate somebody else. You just got to figure out what works for you.
Right.
Anything you want to ask before we wind it up?
I do have a question. It's kind of like a classic question, but
Okay.
I think it's a good one for this situation. If you could write a letter to yourself, your 20-year-old self,
Okay.
what would you say?
About just life in general, or acting?
About
or
life and acting. Because that was around the time when you were coming out here to pursue it, right?
I was a
20.
little older than you were.
Okay. So,
And
yeah.
just a plug, I got accepted to the American Academy of the Dramatic Arts School,
Awesome.
so that's why I came out, officially why I came out. I think, and back then, and it wasn't that long ago, but back then it was so much easier the second time around. For me, I acted in my 20s, and then I stopped. I went to college. I became a basketball coach and a high school teacher. And then when the recession hit, they were getting rid of teachers left and right, and I came to Burbank to pursue acting again. The second time, it was a lot easier to get traction. Back then, you had to get 8x10s, you had to send them out all over town, and all that. I think what I would tell him now, what I would tell little Larry now, is just to stay focused. Don't let the discouragement overtake you. And it's really easy for that to happen in this business. It is really easy for that to happen.
It is.
So just to stay focused, and this is what I tell everybody now, is, we're actors, but don't let that be your identity. There's a lot of people I meet in Burbank who are just now finding out that I act.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I never knew that, oh my God. So, and I say that to just be well-rounded. Just be involved in. It doesn't always have to be acting 24/7.
Yeah, don't let it take over your life.
Yeah, and as we've met people where that's all they know how to talk about.
Yeah.
And it's really shallow, and it's really just it's really
It's
retarded.
annoying.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
So develop other interests. Probably stay. It's hard to be focused when you're 20, especially when you're hanging out down Sunset Strip all the time. It's really easy to lose focus. And the discouragement. Just fight through the discouragement.
Cool.
So would that be a letter to Aiden?
Would that? I mean, it could be it. I asked that both for viewers and for myself because I'm coming up on 20, coming soon in the next few years. So I can use that advice and apply it to my own life.
Yeah. And just be well-rounded.
Right.
That's more. I think more important than anything. I think most actors, and this is why I don't hang out with a lot of actors, is they're very self-absorbed. Like everything goes into them and they have to figure it out and then maybe it comes out. I think I'm a better actor because I'm more engaged in what's going on around me all the time.
You have to have actual experience in real life.
And it's a mindset though too. Like I'm not just going to sit and think how I feel about this, or I see a tree, how does that make me feel?
Right.
Be more engaged with everything.
Yeah.
Stop thinking less about yourself.
Yeah.
And just let all this stuff just kind of come in and find its place, if that makes sense. If that's not too artistic of an answer, but all right. So we got to wrap it up. I mean, I could talk with Aiden all day, and we usually do for long periods of time. Where can we find you? I know your Instagram's blowing up.
You can find me at AydenLane04 on Instagram. You can also find me on Spotify. I have one single released, my Ayden Lane, AYDENLAYNE. I'm releasing a second single on March 11th. You can find Flex. So I'm really excited about that.
Just check out my book, The Hollow Walk. You can get it anywhere, any online bookstore, anywhere. They all carry it. Check it out. I think you'll like it. Especially if you like the trailer, check out the book. And he did a great job in the trailer. Find me at Larry A. Davies on Instagram. That's all one word. So thanks so much for spending time with us. We're gonna, we will say that there's a web series coming. We're gonna film that in a couple of weeks. So Aiden's in it. Really excited to get, and his brother Cam will be in that eventually. So it's gonna be something to look forward to. Thanks everybody. We'll see you soon.